Welcome back, guys. I'm Mark Wong, and today we're in the tech room, your trusty companion for all things tech. Whether you are a tech enthusiast looking for the latest innovations or a casual user seeking honest reviews, you've come to the right place. Join us as we dive deep into the realm of gadgets, gaming consoles, PCs, and more. In this video, we will be walking you through all the components you need to build your own gaming rig. Building a good gaming PC isn't just about getting all of the most high-end components and putting them together. When building a PC, there are a number of things you have to consider, and two of the most important points to keep in mind are compatibility and performance. By aiming for these two key points, you're sure to get a gaming system that is sure to last for up to a decade. To help you further, there are timestamps and direct links to all the products in the description below. So let's get started. The first component in today's list is none other than the brains of the computer. The CPU, or central processing unit, commonly known as the processor. The CPU handles all instructions it receives from hardware and software. When choosing a CPU, consider the number of cores, clock speed, and whether it can be overclocked for better performance. For context, a core is an individual processing unit within the CPU, capable of executing a series of instructions. Modern CPUs can have multiple cores, allowing them to perform multiple tasks simultaneously, which significantly improves multitasking and parallel processing capabilities. Threads refer to the number of independent processes a CPU can handle at once. With technologies like hyper-threading from Intel or simultaneous multi-threading from AMD, a single core can handle two threads, effectively doubling the number of tasks the core can process concurrently. Clock speed, measured in gigahertz, indicates the frequency at which a CPU's core operates. It represents the number of cycles a core can complete in a second. Higher clock speeds mean a CPU can process instructions faster, leading to quicker execution of tasks. Gamers who want to do future proofing should look for a high-performance CPU to ensure smooth gameplay and the ability to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. In today's standards, a quad-core processor with at least 8 threads, such as the Ryzen 3 or Core i3, is ideal for budget gaming. A 6 to 8 core processor with 12 threads is sufficient for most games, such as the Ryzen 5 series or the Core i5 series. An 8 or 10 core processor with around 16 threads, such as the Ryzen 7 or Core i7, is ideal for gaming at higher resolutions, such as 1440p or 4K. They also provide additional headroom for multitasking, streaming, and content creation without impacting gaming performance. Processors with more than 12 cores and 24 threads, such as the latest Ryzen 9 or Intel Core i9 series, are top-tier CPUs that offer excellent performance for both gaming and demanding multitasking scenarios, including live streaming and video editing. Our next component is the motherboard. This is the main circuit board that connects all components of the PC. It's important to choose a motherboard that is compatible with your CPU and has enough slots for your RAM and expansion cards. Consider the form factor or size of the motherboard, the type of socket for the CPU, and the chipset that determines what features it supports. Choose a motherboard with the latest chipset that supports your chosen CPU, such as Intel's Z series, AMD's B series, or X series chipsets. Ensure it has enough PCIe slots for expansion and supports the latest RAM standards. Up next, we move on to the random access memory, or RAM as we call it. RAM is your system short-term memory, which temporarily stores data for quick access. When selecting RAM, consider the capacity, speed, and whether it's compatible with your motherboard. Faster RAM can improve system responsiveness and gaming performance. At least 16 gigabytes of DDR4 or DDR5 RAM is recommended for those looking to multitask or run very memory-intensive games. 32 gigabytes can offer additional headroom. Now we move on to the heart of every gaming PC, the graphics card or GPU. The GPU is critical for rendering images and video. For gaming PCs, a powerful graphics card is essential for running games at high resolutions and frame rates. Consider the performance, memory size, and cooling solutions of the GPU. Higher performing cards will provide better visuals and smoother gameplay. A current gen or last gen NVIDIA or Radeon GPU is recommended for modern day titles. Radeon offers the 6000 and 7000 series, while NVIDIA offers the GeForce 3000 and 4000 series. These lineups from both brands feature ray tracing and performance acceleration, allowing for better quality textures and higher frame rates. For gaming at 1080p, a GPU with at least 4 gigabytes of VRAM is recommended. For 1440p or high resolutions, aim for 8 gigabytes or more. More VRAM can help with rendering high-resolution textures and can be beneficial for future proofing. Of course, a good PC must have enough storage for files and games. Storage comes in two main types: solid-state drives, commonly known as SSDs, and hard disk drives or HDDs. SSDs are faster and more reliable, but generally come with less space per dollar than HDDs. Gamers should consider an SSD for the operating system and games to decrease loading times, and possibly an additional HDD for extra storage. A 1 TB SSD is recommended for storage as it offers ample space and fast load times. If more storage is needed, consider adding an additional HDD for bulk storage of files and less frequently played games. When it comes to the power supply, or PSU, it's pretty much straightforward. Just a background, the PSU delivers power to your components. It's important to choose one with enough wattage to support all your components and has a good efficiency rating. Consider the total power draw of your components and look for a PSU with a little extra headroom. A reliable PSU is one with at least an 80+ bronze efficiency rating and enough wattage to support your components. A general rule of thumb is to aim for a PSU that can provide 1.5 times the wattage that your system is expected to draw under load. A 750 watt power supply is a sweet spot if you're into mid-range gaming. If you want to do future-proofing, a 1000 watt or higher PSU might be needed. Next, we have the chassis or PC case. The PC case houses all the components and comes in various sizes and styles. When choosing a case, consider the size of your motherboard and whether it has enough space for all your components, including room for cooling solutions. It should also have enough space to fit your GPU and any additional fans just in case. To ensure good airflow, you're going to have to install case fans strategically. Intake fans should bring cool air into the case, while exhaust fans expel hot air. Consider creating a positive air pressure environment by having more intake fans than exhaust fans, which can reduce dust buildup. Typically, intake fans are installed on the front of the PC case, while exhaust fans are installed at the back and on top. And speaking of fans, let's move on to the cooling system. Cooling is essential to keep your components from overheating. Aside from the usual case fans, a cooling system also comprises of heat sinks, liquid cooling systems, and even air cooling systems. The preferred cooling system depends on the heat output of your components and the level of overclocking you intend to do. If you're using a high-end CPU or plan to overclock, consider a larger air cooler or a liquid cooling system to keep temperatures in check. Let's not forget the operating system, though. The operating system, or OS for short, is the software that manages your computer's hardware and software resources. Windows is the most popular choice for gaming due to its wide compatibility with games and gaming hardware. As a bonus, you might need aftermarket thermal paste. Thermal paste is applied between the GPU or CPU's chipset to improve thermal conductivity and efficiently transfer heat. It typically comes pre-applied on the stock heatsink that comes bundled with a CPU or GPU. However, if you're using an aftermarket heatsink or water cooling system, you may need to purchase thermal paste separately. It's important to note that applying the correct amount of thermal paste and ensuring proper installation is key to maximizing the effectiveness of a cooling solution. Too little paste can lead to insufficient coverage and hot spots, while too much can cause the paste to spill over and potentially affect other components. It's also important to replace the thermal paste every 2 to 3 years depending on use, as it can dry out and lose effectiveness over time. We recommend the Noctua NT-H1 thermal paste as it delivers optimum heat dissipation for both the CPU and GPU. And there you have it, folks. All the components you need to build your own gaming rig. If you liked this video and it helped you in any way, please do give it a like and hit the subscribe button. If you have a question or a product you want us to review, be sure to drop your recommendations in the comments below. Until next time, this is Mark signing off, reminding you to stay connected and updated with all of our research into everything that makes our tech rooms great.